Our final speaker today is a man who, in uniform at least, doesn't really need an introduction. But he isn't always in uniform. Like most of us, Gene Hoyas led an ordinary and very quiet life that was abruptly changed on November 4th, 2008. Sensing a grave threat to the future of the Republic, Gene resolved to do what he could to prevent that from happening and created Manly's Republic. It's a website dedicated to informing, inspiring, and rallying Americans nationwide to the cause of liberty. Under the pen name Manly Rash, he made his internet debut on January 15th and has since published over 2,000 articles on a blog that is rapidly becoming one of the best read in the nation. After investing in an authentic Continental Army Army officer's uniform, complete with sword, he has appeared and spoken at numerous tea parties and as rallies as Colonel Manly Rash. And, as he likes to point out, he needs no name tag or ID badge because he is the ID badge. Ladies and gentlemen, I turn your attention to the Liberty Bell, and please welcome Colonel Manly Rash of the 2nd New Jersey Continental Regiment. Colonel.
You can still hear it ringing. What a wonderful sound that is. Everyone, come into the shade. You've sat in the sun long enough. Come around, patriots. I want to share with you words of inspiration. So many speakers came before me today, gave you words of instruction, went into great detail about the serious plight of this republic, what sad shape we're in. And I can't help but think we're reliving it all over again. We already went through this. We've seen this movie before. Some of the props have changed. This was the first. It looks like it's gone through quite a bit in the 233 years since it first appeared. What kind of a smell must it be? Musty? Old? King George would have said it reeked of the odious stench of rebellion. And the King Georges in the nation's capital today would say that it reeks of the odious stench of American imperialism and America's sins, things we should be forever apologizing for overseas. It doesn't reek of that at all. It's a fragrant aroma. It's the aroma of liberty. And this humble flag, this collection of stars and stripes, signaled the beginning. A beginning, I'm afraid, that so many of us have forgotten. So many Americans no longer remember. They no longer remember what this stood for. Proclaim liberty throughout the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. That was why it was first cast. It was why it was first rung. It was the reason for casting this replica. 53 of them were made in France some years ago, and 53 of them sent, one for each of the United States and all of our territorial possessions. New Jersey received this one, and Perth Amboy, the leader in so many respects among all the communities in what is ultimately the crossroads of the American Revolution. Perth Amboy had the honor of receiving this bell and has been ringing it every July 4th. And I think that's a wonderful thing because it rings as a reminder It is the doom of men that we forget, and that's why I'm here. Much like Governor Franklin, who first began today and spoke to you as a representative of the opposition, of the Tories, I come as another ghost, the ghost of America past, rising up out of the mists of time to take back my republic. I could spend the next few minutes railing against the administration, railing against the government, and Lord knows there's plenty of fodder, and I could go on and on and on, but you've endured so much today, and I don't want to take up any more of your time than I have to. I come here not to speak out against those who would oppress us in our own government, and Lord knows there's enough to say about them, but I came here to speak in favor of you, to speak to you, because that is ignored far too often. The statists in government look at you and they see a rabble. They see a mob. They see ignorance, stupidity, blind emotion. They're seeing a reflection of themselves. I look out and I see an ocean of patriots. I see people here on what could arguably be considered the most beautiful day of the year so far. A picture-perfect, glorious, nearly cloudless day. Wonderful for anyone who isn't wearing a full-wool regimental uniform. But think of how much worse it was for the men who wore this at the Battle of Monmouth, which took place over the summer, where the temperature exceeded 105 degrees. They died at their guns. They died in the fields. They died for something they believed in. And it didn't even exist yet. They died for an idea. They died for a dream. They died for liberty. They died